Alright, we're sound sculpting again. This time we're dealing with specific harmonic frequencies of whatever you're dealing with. A recorded, a vocal, or a synth patch, or choir patch, or a guitar patch, or a distortion that you want to work on, or carve and work on. And if you've seen the other videos, that you understand about the harmonics. So, I mean, I'll address it really quick again. That basically you've got your fundamental frequency, like the guy singing A note, and the even and odd harmonics that can be inside of that. And, you know, the actual harmonics, the first harmonic, second harmonic, third harmonic, fourth, fifth, sixth, and so on and so forth, up to infinity. So, basically, if you watch the video on harmonics, you probably got a basic understanding of harmonics well enough to understand what I'm talking about here. Now, I dealt with this a few different ways and looked at a shitload of plugins, and nothing seemed to do it. And any of the ones that were real expensive did not too bad of a job, but they were still, you didn't have that much control of them as far as I could tell. So I said, okay, let's try to do this another way. Let's go do it the poor man's way. And, you know, the mother invention is you got no damn money and you can't afford all that stuff. So try it from that way and see what we come up with. So I downloaded this Agena Music Pitch Proof. It's just a pitch shifter harmonizer. And it's a real basic one, and it's free. And I'll show you what I did with it here. Is I've got it on here, and I've got it mapped out, and I'll show you that I'll turn them on. And basically, as I map them out, that I've mapped them out to where they're addressing all these harmonics. The fundamental, then you got the first harmonic, second harmonic, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and so on and so forth. All right. So then what I did on here, and if you're not familiar with this tool, that this is a tool in Persona Studio 1.3 for making, effects in series or parallel. So basically I needed to go parallel, because if you've ever taken anything and you try to boost it 3 octaves, that it starts sounding like Donald Duck, and you got a problem. You're like, well, I can't have all my shit sound like Donald Duck. It sounds like crap. Now the purpose of this isn't to try to boost something up 3 octaves anyway. So what the purpose is to build timbre and harmonic content, or adjust the harmonic content for sound sculpting. So you've got the fundamental coming in here, and if you've got a waveform, I have this fundamental as just a tone generator. But basically, you turn this off, and you just got whatever wave, or whatever vocal, or whatever synth patch, or whatever, you've got choir patch, or a guitar, whatever, going in there, so you turn that off. Then you got a splitter, so that will come down here and come out in the end, and this would be the volume to adjust the amount of that in there. And then I've got another splitter on here to come over here for the second harmonic, and the second harmonic is the first octave, right? So the first octave comes down into here, it splits again, and it comes out here and comes over here again with another splitter, so I've got a volume adjustment for the second harmonic. It splits here again, so I have an adjustment for the third harmonic. And you can put a mix tool on there or something if you want to split it all over the place and have an exact, have a volume knob for each individual one. But so far I've been able to adjust each one of those frequencies really well, or those harmonics I should say. And then I came over to here, it's going to the fourth harmonic, got a splitter on it, splitter on it, splitter on it, splitter on it, so it can come down here. I did have to put a mix tool on here, so as it comes out here, that this volume I could get up, because it was dropping way down and I couldn't get it to where it would be the correct volume. However I want to adjust it. And then I put it on here, the fifth harmonic, sixth harmonic, seventh harmonic, and you can see how those are laid out. And then it's coming over here to the eighth harmonic, the third octave, to the ninth harmonic, to the fifth harmonic, to the 10th harmonic, and coming out here, and I had to put another mix tool on here for this eighth harmonic third octave, because I couldn't get control of it and being able to boost it where I needed it to. But that's a real simple layout coming out. Now, what this does is basically, let's say you've got a vocal track, and I did it on a vocal, I did it on a choir patch for a synth, I did it on a guitar, and basically what happened is, let's say you had a guitar tone, and it was like I had this odd harmonic distortion on it, and basically it wasn't that great. So I want to put some even harmonic distortion into it to smooth it out, to make it sound a little better and a little smoother. So I just started boosting. I used this to start boosting the even harmonics in it. And as I played along, the harmonizer just think it's trying to create harmonies. So it's running around as the fundamental tone changed and creating harmonies around it. It was basically creating distortion that I wanted to at the levels that I wanted to create an even harmonic distortion for the track. And if you watch their videos, that should make sense to you. And it's awesome tool, dude, because I also took and I was like, okay, let's take this choir patch. I took a choir and a vocal patch, just a something I sung into, and I could adjust those harmonics. One issue I did run into is, let's say this fourth harmonic was too loud, right? Well, there was no way with this to drop the level of that harmonic, right? There just wasn't. There wasn't any way to do it. There's no way to address that without an EQ, which doesn't follow it around all the places. You automate it, and I've done that, and it can be a pain. I'll do it sometimes for small sections, but not for a whole song, and it's like, my EQ is going like this with automation everywhere. That gets tiring, so, you get tired of doing that. So what I did is I boosted all the frequencies around it, up the same amount as, like this one up a half a dB, 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 all of them that were in there. And then this one actually looked like it was dropping down. And then I just lowered the whole volume of the waveform, and it worked awesome, dude. I mean, it worked great. So, I mean, it's an awesome tool, dude, for sound sculpting. And if you wanted to ping me and get a little more information on that, but basically, if you watch this video once or twice, it should be pretty self-explanatory. And for the most part, I didn't get any Donald ducking going on or anything like that. And I was going up 3 octaves easy. And the 3 octaves, most of the time, it's pretty low down here. But when I was boosting them, I mean, I'd boost that up, and I've got like, I'm up to the 3rd octave up in here. And I start boosting that, and it wasn't actually I wasn't getting no Donald ducking. It wasn't sounding messed up because I wasn't boosting 3 octaves from the fundamental. I was boosting an octave up from the last octave. So, I mean, seemed to be handling it better that way. And I wasn't getting that kind of effect. But anyway, I hope you understand that. That is an invaluable tool. And an example of that I'll give you that makes this tool worth gold is that you've got a vocalist, right? And that vocalist singing along, and it just doesn't sound that good. It's said the harmonics in their voice don't sound good. So you start digging around in your $30,000 microphones trying to figure out, well, which distortion and harmonic content or, or non-harmonic distortion is going to make this lady's voice sound good. Then basically you can pull this out and start playing with the frequencies in her voice, because all this third harmonic is just a harmony of the fundamental tones. And I did have some issues that I was really worried about, that it would start boosting a whole bunch of other shit down here, but I didn't have that problem. I could really very much address that one harmonic in the lady's voice, and I took some vocals that were really kind of not really good, and it was like, you didn't have to try, buy 10 different, $30,000 microphones. You would have it right there, and you could just adjust it. Look at it on the spectrogram and say, well, it doesn't sound quite right. And it does look like it's sculpted out a little bit right here, like this one needs to be come up a little bit. Maybe that's the problem. So, start playing with it. Boost it up a little bit, bring it down a little bit, drop down the other ones around it. And it worked awesome, dude. I mean, and the cool thing about it is I didn't have to go through the whole track and do all this automation all over the place, because every time she sung a different note, that harmony would change to wherever she was singing, and it took care of the problem. And it's a cool tool. Because I had serious issues, even distortion pedals. I got a bunch of distortion pedals, and it was like I'm not happy with none of them, dude. None of them have the exact harmonic content that I want. So I used this and I threw that on there, and all of a sudden I took that clipping square wave kind of distortion and I added some even harmonics to it, and it was cool, dude. It did it. I mean, it just evened it right out. And then I tried to do it some different ways. But, I mean, it added the harmonic content that I wanted for whatever was happening there. So, I hope that was fairly clear. It's a very complex kind of thing. But it's also, I hope I made it very simple. The actual part of putting this together is a little bit complex. But once you understand it and you took a look, I showed you a picture of it and moved it around so you could see. And you can ping me if you want. And if you're in Personas, I could actually send you a copy of the preset. And it did an awesome job, dude. It was a free harmonizer, and it did exactly what I wanted to do. And none of the other distortions that I was dealing with were addressing it that clear. And then the other thing is on this, I can put that harmony, if I'm dealing with non-harmonic distortion, that I can actually throw another one in here and deal with frequencies that are in between those harmonies, the actual harmonics. So if you had looked at the harmonics and watched that video on harmonics, you would understand what that means, that I can deal with the frequencies and the non-harmonic distortion in between there. And then I can adjust it up or down, a little bit until I get it to where it's, where I want it. And it's an invaluable tool, and it worked awesome. I've been trying to get something that'll do that well, and this did it. And it was a free harmonizer. And if I had the money, or if you want to send me one, if you learn something here, you can send me a better one. Maybe it'll sound better. That would be cool, dude. I won't argue with you. But for now, that's a free tool, and it worked awesome, dude. So peace, hope, love, and that's another huge sound sculpting tool.